Let's have a bit of a laugh at Harry and Meghan's expense, because I've finally caught up with this South Park episode, and the bit I love about it is the brand management. And in this sequence about brand management, Harry actually gets convinced by the South Park gang that he needs to be a bit more authentic. Have a look.
Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Drama, thought she could silence South Park with a legal sledgehammer, furious over their latest episode poking fun at her privacy obsession. But oh, how the tables have turned. Instead of a triumphant PR victory, her lawsuit plans have backfired spectacularly, with creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone firing back with a vengeance that has left her reputation in tatters. This isn't just a courtroom clash, it is a cultural car crash, and the world is watching with a mix of disbelief and delight.
He's right. Trying to make ourselves into a brand just turned us into products. We don't need to be a brand, do we? If it's truly what we want, then we really can get away from it all. No more magazines and Netflix shows. We really can live a normal life.
So pour yourself a cuppa, because this royal reckoning is about to unfold with all the grace of a pratfall at Buckingham Palace. Let's set the stage. It all began with a South Park episode that took aim at Meghan and Harry's so-called worldwide privacy tour, a satirical jab at their demands for solitude while chasing the spotlight with magazines and Netflix deals. The cartoon Meghan dragged a literal privacy banner across the screen, throwing tantrums and demanding silence, a mirror so clear it stung.
Meghan's buying it, Kosher, and I don't think there's much on the inside. There's talk that the royals are going to sue over this episode now. Would you recommend they do that, Kosher?
Instead of laughing it off, Meghan allegedly geared up for legal action, convinced she could force a retraction. But here's the kicker: US law, with its First Amendment shield, protects satire, especially when no real names are used. Those thinly veiled characters, legally untouchable. And yet, she pressed on, a move that reeks more of desperation than strategy. The legal experts didn't hold back, calling her case laughable from the start. Multiple entertainment lawyers chimed in, noting that public figures like Meghan face an impossibly high bar to prove defamation, unless, of course, she admits the parody hit too close to home.
No, look, it's speculation, but looking at their pattern so far, they do seem to be rather litigious. It'll never work. The U.S. has a First Amendment, and especially the category of satire protects them, and they're public figures, so the threshold is very, very high to have any sort of libel.
Her team reportedly demanded South Park pull the episode, but the show's creators weren't about to bow. On their podcast, Parker quipped, "We have been sued before. This one's just royal," while Stone added with a smirk, "It would be the best court case in the world, then we would do another episode about it." These weren't idle threats, they were calculated darts, exposing Meghan's hypocrisy with surgical precision. Her own legal counsel, insiders say, warned her to back off, predicting a tenfold magnification of ridicule.
It would be the best court case in the world, and then South Park could do another episode based on the court case. Thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it, Kosher Gata and Stephen Senatiempo.
But Meghan, ever the gambler, doubled down. The public reaction was swift and merciless. Twitter exploded with hashtags like South Park wins and Duchess of Delusion, while TikTok users turned her legal meltdown into a meme fest. Reddit threads buzzed with comments calling it a royal temper tantrum, and even some of her staunchest supporters threw up their hands. One viral post summed it up: "You can leave the palace, but the entitlement clearly stays." The satire didn't invent these perceptions. It exaggerated what many already whispered: Meghan's cries for privacy clashing with her relentless self-promotion. Her outrage, rather than silencing the joke, validated every punchline, turning her into the episode's unintended star. Behind the scenes, the fallout deepened.
Let's take a quick look at the South Park destruction of Meghan and Harry, just because it's so funny.
It has been several months now since our beloved Queen has died. Our Canadians are finding it hard to go on. All Canadians, that is, except for our first guest, the Prince and his wife.
The South Park team didn't just defend their work, they thrived on the controversy. After news of the lawsuit broke, the episode shot to the top of streaming charts, views doubled, and merchandise with parody quotes flew off shelves. Meghan's favorability took a nosedive, with polls in the US and UK showing a spike in distrust. One unnamed Netflix insider reportedly grumbled, "We are reevaluating our involvement. The last thing we need is someone suing cartoons." Her attempt to control the narrative backfired, amplifying the show's reach far beyond its original audience.
We want privacy! We want privacy! Thanks for having us on the show!
Now, there are rumours they might be suing because they sue everybody over everything normally, especially if it's true, or if people are being intrusive because they want to save it for themselves so they can intrude on their own lives.
In Hollywood, she is quickly becoming a PR hazard, a cautionary tale of legal overreach. The climax came with the cultural sting. This wasn't just about a failed lawsuit, it was about a pattern. Meghan and Harry have spent years crafting a victim narrative, misunderstood heroes escaping a cruel monarchy. But every challenge, from journalists to former staff to South Park, meets the same response: lawsuits, silence, or rage. This legal misstep reinforced the stereotype of a fragile, thin-skinned duo desperate to shape public perception, even at the cost of looking ridiculous. Trey and Matt, unfazed, hinted at more during a live-stream Q&A when asked if Meghan might return. Parker teased, "If she sues us again, we will give her another tour." Fans erupted, begging for a sequel, and the threat looms that her own behavior could fuel the next round of ridicule. Let's reflect on the broader implications. The royal family, though silent, must be wincing. Buckingham Palace has no official comment, but insiders suggest King Charles and Prince William view this as yet another embarrassment, dragging the monarchy into chaos. Biographers are rewriting chapters, and senior staffers whisper off record about protecting the institutions. Trust, Meghan's move didn't just fail legally. It exposed a disconnect between her curated image and the reality the public sees. For someone championing free speech and authenticity, trying to censor South Park was the ultimate contradiction, a gift to critics who argue she seeks domination over dialogue. So, what does this mean for Meghan, her Hollywood empire building? Dreams may be crumbling, with doors slamming shut as executives weigh the risks. The lawsuit attempt, meant to silence a joke, instead turned her into a global punchline. Satire, as Trey and Matt proved, is untouchable, and when it hits too close, fighting it with lawyers only amplifies the laughter. This wasn't a battle she could win, it was a lesson she refused to learn. The court of public opinion has spoken, and the verdict is clear. You don't censor comedy, you become it. What do we do with this circus? If you are weary of the endless spin, the legal tantrums, and the erosion of trust, it is time to weigh in. Share your thoughts, join the debate, and let's hold public figures accountable for their actions. Meghan's lawsuit backfire against South Park isn't just a footnote. It is a defining moment that reveals the fragility behind her facade. As millions laugh, one thing is certain: when you take on satire, the joke is on you. And for a duchess who once commanded respect, that is a legacy she can't sue away. Let us consider the ripple effects across the Commonwealth and beyond. This debacle has reignited discussions about the relevance of modern royalty, with critics arguing that Meghan's actions undermine the monarchy's dignity. In Canada, where the couple once resided, public sentiment has shifted, with some calling for a reevaluation of their titles. The legal misadventure has also prompted a deeper look into their financial dealings, with questions arising about how their brand management aligns with their public stance against intrusion. Meanwhile, in the US, late-night hosts have seized the opportunity, adding their own satirical spins, further cementing Meghan's status as a figure of ridicule. The silence from Buckingham Palace, while predictable, carries weight. It suggests a deliberate distancing, a tacit acknowledgement that Meghan's antics no longer reflect the royal brand. Royal watchers speculate that Prince William, tasked with modernizing the monarchy, sees this as a setback, potentially influencing future decisions about the Sussexes' role. Historians are already drafting analyses, noting how this episode mirrors past royal scandals where hubris led to downfall. For Meghan, the stakes are higher than ever, as each misstep erodes the goodwill she once enjoyed, leaving her to navigate a landscape where satire reigns supreme. In conclusion, this saga transcends a single lawsuit. It is a clash of values, pitting curated image against unfiltered truth. Meghan's attempt to control the narrative has backfired, handing South Park a victory that resonates culturally and commercially. As the laughter echoes, the question remains, will she adapt, or will she continue to fuel the fire? For now, the spotlight burns bright and the punchline is hers to bear. Join the conversation, share your perspective, and let us demand accountability from those who shape our cultural discourse. The truth, as ever, will outlast the jest.